padam darshitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Vasudeva Vasudam Devam Kamsachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Yesterday we dwelt on that if there is to be peace in this world, there has to be peace within ourselves. And to have this peace, what we require is love. And we dwelt on it in great details yesterday. However, even love has got many different meanings to it. When love is directed towards one out of the many, it becomes the lower form of love, attachment. When love is directed to that which is the many, it is called as devotion or bhakti. Just as when you love your family members, but when you direct your love towards the country, all other differences of mine, yours, disappears. We are all people of the same country, children of the same country. And who or what is God? People have different concepts and ideas. But what is it that the great rishis, the great inquirers, the scriptures point out as God? And we have seen yesterday that the cause of this universe can only be one, and that one infinite from which the entire universe has manifested has to be present, just as the cause is present in the effect, has to be present in everything and everyone. Therefore, in God love, when you say my God, your God, my religion, your religion, then all wars will take place. But when you are devoted to that one God who is everything and everyone, in that love, everyone is included. Not that your family members are excluded. That bhakti. Therefore, when Arjuna now asks Shri Krishna, I have seen you in this individual form. And in that form, we can worship the chosen form of our Lord. But the scriptures point out this whole universe as the form of the Lord. In the places of worship, you worship your chosen deity, and through various different ways, somewhere with lamps, otherwhere with candles, somewhere with elaborate worship, that is also nothing but seva only, and somewhere just prayer. All these methods by which we worship the chosen deity of our heart with the name and a form is to cultivate that love. And whenever love enters our heart, you cannot but see your beloved everywhere. Like this morning session where we are talking about mastering this mind. As your mind, whatever fills your mind, that is what you see in this world. As we do Murti Puja and our mind develops love, and in that love becomes more and more purified. Such a lover then begins to see his chosen deity wherever he or she goes. Therefore, Tulsidas ji says, Siya Ram main sab jag jani, karo pranam jori jugapani. I see Sita and Ram in everyone, and I bow down to everyone. Thus, the love from Murti becomes Kirti Puja. And what is Kirti Puja? When we consider every being to be the manifestation of God only, and whatever interaction we have with them is our worship, our service, our puja. When thus we can interact with the world, when every action becomes dedicated to the Lord of our heart, then such a purified, meditative mind can begin to recognize that divine, essential presence not only within yourself, but in everyone, and from the form transcend into the formless infinite. These are the stages of our worship, stages of our sadhana, and stages of our devotion. From Murti to Kirti, and from Kirti to Swarupa. Essential nature. Once you have this in your mind, now Arjuna's question is that this is a twofold path. One is you see the world of forms and you express love through service. Love without service is meaningless. It's just, I love you. So you express as service. For that you have to be extrovert. While to discover that Lord as yourself, you have to turn inward in meditation. He has understood that both are, one is the nature of truth, other is the expression of truth. He has understood this. But he wants to know, Teshanke Yoga Vittama, who is the best knower of yoga? And yoga means that which brings about union with your higher. That is called as yoga. So who is able to effectively reach that state of infinitude, that state of freedom, that state of oneness with the whole universe, oneness with God, that state of enlightenment, that state of nirvana, supreme peace. And Bhagwan does not waste any time, immediately gives the answer. And I hope today all of you have the book. Anybody doesn't have the book? Put your hands up. We'll allow you to beg, borrow or steal also. Doesn't matter. Gita you can steal. Go. But see that you have a book with you. Now Bhagwan replies. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Veshamano Yemam Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetaha Te me yuktatama mataha. Bhagwan doesn't say that those who meditate upon the formless or those who serve the various forms or expressions in this world are better versed. He points out those who have got these three qualities in their devotion, Bhagwan says, Te me yuktatama mataha. I consider them to be the best in yoga. Who? Maya Vesha. Mai Avesha. Manaha. So, ye, whosoever. And that's the beautiful pronoun that we find in the Gita. And see the universality of it. It didn't say only people belonging to this religion or that religion or this race or that. Ye. Whosoever. Not even gender mentioned here. Sometimes you just say man because man is always included in woman, right? Woman. No? He is always included in she. So, might say man, but that means humans basically. No? Ye, Bhagwan says whosoever. And in bhakti the beauty is that even animals, no? Even plants, as I'll tell you stories later on. No? So, whosoever's manaha, mind, mahi aveshya, whoever has fixed his mind in me, nitya yuktaha, ever steadfast, upasate, serves, worship, meditate. All three meaning is there in upasate. Shraddhaya paraya upetaha. Endowed with supreme faith, te me yuktatama mataha. They indeed are the best in their practice, the best in their devotion, the best yogis. Now, three things Bhagwan points out. Whose mind is absorbed. You know, the word avesh is there in all our Indian languages, is it not? Krodh avesh, everybody knows. Yeah, when you go back home, what that, you know? Avesh means when you become one with that emotion. It's not that you are getting angry, you are angry itself, Mr. Anger. That's called as avesh, calm avesh. When your mind gets one with that, it is called as avesh. Not a very positive word, but when you're obsessed with it. Just as negatively, when you get obsessed with something, you can't think of anything else but that only. So whosever mind is absorbed in me, the absolute formless infinite, or in the form, one who is absorbed in it, Nitya Yukta, ever steadfast, sincere, daily practicing. Now you tell me, it's very interesting. Once I met a woman who came to my talk. She had come quite late. And when she had come into the audience, I could see that she was listening with a lot of attention. Very sincere. And after the talk, she came up to me and she said, and this was many years ago, and she said, when young people like you were to speak to our youngsters, they would be convinced. So I said, of course, I speak to a lot of youngsters every time I have my camps, etc. Why don't you bring your youngsters and I will inspire them? She said, you know how these teenagers are, Swamiji. No? You come to my house. For the youth, I was ever ready. I said, okay, I'll come. And when I went to the house, you know what Indian mothers nowadays, they have only one complaint about their children. If anybody else complains about their children, including teachers, they get very angry. Krodhavesh. But they've got complaint. My children are not studying enough. As though life is only study, 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 study. There's more to life than just study, 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 study. But study, not studying, not studying. So I just politely asked the youngsters, so what do you do most of the time? Is it not most of the time? She says, most of the time they're only watching television, television, television. Let's cut the story short. Those children told me that we study, but when mummy is away, and then she keeps on scolding us for watching television. She said, but I don't see them study. So I just politely told her, I said, why don't you then stay at home? I've got a life of my own. There's some time I want off. See, when you have taken up a job, you want to work only 9, nowadays it's not 9 to 5, 9 to 4:30. Is it not? But does the mother's role end at 4:30 in the evening or even 9 o'clock at night? Nitya Yukta, ever steadfast. Love requires no break, and service done out of love is not intermittent. It is not sometime and sometime not. Nitya Yukta, ever steadfast. Upasate. This word upasana in Sanskrit is very beautifully. Upa, near. Asana, sit. We have heard, as you think, so you become. What company you keep, you eventually become like that company. Give your mind the company of the divine. Give the mind the company of noble and high ideals. That is what God represents to all of us. When you keep your mind through service, through thoughts, it's what they say, action. When you say mana, krama, vachan, with mind, speech and action. When all these are turned towards God, towards an ideal, then our mind also takes up the texture of it, becomes like it. You say that, I am Krishna Bhakta.
Have you seen in the whole life of Krishna, one after one challenges and sorrows came, but in midst of them, unperturbed, fearless, ever laughing, joyously, helping others all the time and removing their problems. If you're a Krishna Bhakta, you should be like that, laughing away. Not sad. Rama Bhakta and dishonest, Lord of compassion, but hating everybody, that is not upasana, that is not worship. Therefore, one who continuously, steadily brings his mind constantly thinking of one's beloved, that mind takes up that form. And Shraddhaya Parayopeta,
not with just belief. Belief is just acceptance without thinking or without judgment. Shraddha, as explained by our rishis, is not an emotional belief. Not in our Hindu culture or religion, any blind belief is required. Shraddha is very different from blind belief or even belief. In life, really speaking, everything works on belief. Now you came here, how many of you know engineering? But you have belief that whoever built this roof will not fall on you. Has built it so well that it won't fall on you. It's belief only, isn't it? You not look into the construction of it, but you believe that some sound building structure is there. But what is Shraddha? Over the years, this roof has not fallen on anybody. It's built by a contractor and an architect who knows what he is doing. And you sit here without even a doubt in your mind that you are safe or not. That is called as Shraddha. So when we have that firm conviction, a proper understanding of the scriptures and the words of the Guru, and through that we have faith in devotion, faith in the ideal that we are worshipping. First of all, it is possible. When that Shraddha is there, Shraddhaya Parayopeta, Teme Yuktatama Mata. According to me, Bhagavan says one who has got these three qualities. Mind immersed in me, which will be explained later on. Mind ever steadfast, single-pointed, sincere. And third is firm Shraddha or faith. They are the best. Some commentators do say that Bhagavan has said Mai means me, Krishna Vasudeva, or Virat Rupa of Bhagavan. Because next words he is talking about the infinite nature of the truth or reality. But here, if we see what Bhagavan has said, is not that, because he's going to say that both these paths lead to me only. And me, now you have to understand, Bhagavan is not talking as an individual,
Not as my God, your God, his God, her God, that religion God, Hindu God, Muslim God, Christian God. But that which is the cause of the universe and one with everyone. Now Bhagavan explains in 2 verses what is the path of meditation and how we are to meditate and what are we to contemplate upon to reach this state of meditation.